Today I just wanted to show off this auto potion brewer I built a while back. This is the front of it that you interact with when you use it. It's got chests just full of different types of potions, and when you take the potions, it just refills automatically. So if I took a bunch here, those are just buffered in, so it already had those brewed, so it fills back up. But if you heard the piston fire there, it's actually brewing more now to replace the ones that just filled in. So there's a buffer of, I think it's about a barrel's worth, so a half chest that you can take and have it just fill back in addition to what's already here. And now it'll be brewing to make up for it. So if we go in behind, you can see this is the type of potion I took. So now this whole row here, you can see the redstone's turned off, and it's sending a signal through to brew. The actual brewing happens up here in this brewing stand. So it's making more of them. This is my auto water bottle refiller ingredient storage up here with an auto shut off that automatically detects when an ingredient runs out and stops the brewing until you refill it. And blaze powder. It's programmable, meaning that you can just about infinitely add on more of these. And in here is where you program in the brewing recipe. So I believe that's netherwort. This is blaze powder. And then for strength 2, this is glowstone from up at the top. Those redstone blocks down below. We're in the first position here, which is netherwort. The third, which is blaze powder for strength, and then glowstone for strength 2. And basically they just go in one by one sequentially. Oh, it's done brewing now. Back to back and brew. This here is the timer that does the actual brewing process. So it detects when the last ingredient enters the brewing stand, starts a timer that is timed to the cycle of a single brew, and then tells it to drain the final potion. The potion goes down through this stack of hoppers here, and then runs across and gets picked up by the appropriate one. There's no item filters here, so they're all locked except for the one that we're currently brewing. And once it goes in, it triggers that circuit there, which tries to brew another cycle up at the top, unless this has been filled up. So I'll hop into a creative world here and show you guys how to build this. This is the basic unit of the auto brewer. So you need one of these for each potion recipe that you want it to brew for you. The back half here is the programmable strip. So I think right now this is, the way I have it set up anyways, this is netherwort, magma cream, and then redstone, which would give you a extended duration fire resistance potion. There's a certain order to these, I'll get into it later. But basically you want them set up in the same order that they need to be in the recipe. So gunpowder last with redstone and glowstone, because those are modifiers. I think fermented spider eye goes around there too, because it can modify other potions. And then netherwort first, because you always start with that. I think dragon breath back here too as a modifier. And then these are mostly their core recipe ingredients, like blaze powder, magma cream, sugar, rabbit's foot, whatever you wanted. This is the chest where you pick the items up. These two here are just buffer chests or barrels. This comparator. So when you take items from this bottom chest, it'll open up spaces in there and items will start flowing through here. Once this comparator reads that this hopper is empty, so this torch gets turned off, which activates this hopper. So now it can pull potions in that are coming across the top, which will happen after it's brewed. And it also here activates these pistons, pushing this whole row down. So in the actual configuration, these repeaters here will be set up to pull the signal from this, because this one is turned on. So right now this is requesting that you brew more of this kind of potion. And then next to it, because the next one presumably is not active, there will be a row of slime which will pass the signal through. If there were somehow to be 2 that were active, the glass on the next one would block the signal. So there would be let's say there was like a redstone here, but then a bunch of glass. This signal wouldn't get through, so it would brew this one instead, and because the potions feed from this side, this next one over would fill up first, would deactivate once its hopper filled up, and allow this one to start brewing its potion and sucking those up. So quick little tutorial on how to build this. I have this one off the ground just so you don't have to dig as much. It depends what height you want your chests at and if you're willing to dig a little bit here. Basically, just going to mirror this with a gap of 1 there. It's all tileable as far as you want it. And then like that. It's quite easy to build once you have the pattern going. We alternate the redstone with the repeaters here just to pass the signal faster. Comparator. And yeah, just mirroring it the whole way. This is the comparator that reads when you've removed something from the chest. Then the top row here, just mirroring the one over. The timing is 4 and 4 and 1. Sorry guys, I forgot one crucial piece here. We need a redstone block there, a dust, and a dust for the comparators. And then we go sticky piston. These have to be glazed terracotta or another block that doesn't move. Otherwise the slime will grab it and bring it with. And we have this gap in the middle just because that is how many blocks the piston pushes. And then here you put whatever you want for the next recipe. Yeah, redstone all the way to the end. When I built this, I put a bunch of extra ones on the side here because these are pretty fast to build. So I had 5 or 6 potions I wanted to brew for sure. And I built another handful of them over on this side because it is tileable and you can go as far as you want. The more potions you have in a system, it adds a slight delay to the system by half a tick per potion, just because every second one is a dust versus a repeater. But for the most part, you can add as many as you want. But yeah, you wouldn't want to leave this in the middle. This will block it off. So if you had one that you didn't want to put a program into, you would put it on the right side here, and it wouldn't affect the rest of it. So for this one, we'll add nether wart. Let's do the strength 2 like I was doing before. There, and then I think there. I'll build one more just so it looks a little more realistic here. I'll load that off camera. Now this part here is a little funny. We want to build a vertical wire here. I didn't want any delay in it, so we're doing it a redstone tower with glass. Usually you can't put these side by side because the signal will cross over, but if you extend them high enough that the signal is at the lowest power level at the top, which I think will be there, 15 glass blocks zigzagging back and forth, and then we do this for each of these. This you only have to do once, so you can expand this further in that direction, but this side stays the same. And that's done. So you can see, even though the signal's at the bottom, so at the bottom they're separate, in this tower they get all mixed together, but by the time they hit the top, the signals, the first one is active, this one is active here, and then this one here is active. So even though in the middle they're all mixed up, by the top they're good again. For this section we need target blocks. just to pull this last little bit of signal here. So they'll go there, like so, all the way along. This build is very repetitive, deliberately. That's just a filler block that doesn't need to be there. It's meant to be easy to build. And then torches all along the top, just to pick up the signal. At this point, we're inverting the signal because we want to have a NOR gate above this, which looks like this. So we have this whole row, torches on here, which looks pretty silly because we just double inverted it. But on the side here, we're going to have another signal coming in. So the red line there, that signal is going to be the one that activates the brewer and tells it to start, whereas the signal coming up from the bottom is the one that tells it what to brew when it activates. So we pulse this line to tell it start brewing. When this turns off, like it is now, these torches will all come on, and only those torches, and that will fire the ingredients that we want for this recipe. So we put another row on top. These can be any conductive block, any block that carries a redstone signal. I'm using dyed terracotta just because I first built this in a mesa biome, and I use the different colors to keep track of which circuit is which. These guys all get a repeater. Just the one tick. For this part, we're going to put down a bunch of barrels. Above them, there are going to be hoppers, and in between, there will be a dropper. So I'm going to pop up here, put the hopper in. You have to get down low and put the dropper so it's facing down like that, and then the next ones we should be able to get just like that. So if you get right in the upper corner there, they'll face downwards into the barrel below them. Like so. And then each of these gets a hopper on top of it. And if you're not brewing a lot, those hoppers might be enough buffer, but I like to put a barrel on top of them. And this is where you put the ingredients in. I've just added in all the ingredients in the order that I like to do it. I just put a stack in. So yeah, obviously starting with netherwort. These ones are mostly ones that give you, and this one, and sometimes this one, are the ones that give you the actual type of potion. And then these four at the end are the modifiers. So to make a splash potion, extended duration, level 2 potion, or a lingering potion. On this far side here, I like to put in a little detector that'll tell when the ingredients run out, so that we don't try to brew a potion without the ingredient being available. So right now all the ingredients are available, so obviously those are all turned on. Just like that. So if any of these have run out, a signal gets picked up on this, and we just run it around the back. And when this is turned on, that disables the brewing. Like so. If any of these ingredient spots aren't being used yet, so like I didn't have a Dragon's Breath potion for a while, you just take that one out, that torch there, and then it won't interfere with things. So this next bit is tricky to build in survival. I'm gonna cheat a little bit here. I'm doing it in creative. Run the hopper line down the end to pick up the ingredients when they're fired down. Just gonna run a little shelf here. At this end here, I'm gonna put that there and there. And then a comparator there with this above to carry the signal. It's pretty cramped in here. That'll be reading from the brewing stand. And then from that, we put a repeater here, the 1 tick delay. We want to bring this redstone line out. 6 redstone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 redstone. to a repeater. And then here, we just put in a little pulse extender. Comparator, comparator, redstone, target block, there, the torch, redstone, and then here, this is going to look a little bit silly, but I promise that's the way to do it. And then we'll grab the signal from that, bring it over one, and bend the corner there, another repeater. This here is just going to be a little etho hopper clock with 42 items in the hopper. These should be sticky pistons, by the way. A torch on the output to invert it. And that we're going to bring over the redstone just here, and then bring it all the way back until it's one away from the lighter line there. So all the way to here. Bend the corner, repeater on 2 ticks. And then a pulse extender. So I think this outputs a 1-tick pulse. The 2-tick repeater brings it up to 2 ticks, which is just long enough for this pulse extender to catch it and make it the right length we want. From there, this repeater is just to power the block here. And that's what locks the water bottles. So there's going to be water bottles in here. While we're draining the potions out, we don't want water bottles to be filling back in, or we're just going to get water bottles in our chest at the bottom. On the side here, torch there. And then this is where the scaffolding comes in handy in survival. 1, 2. And bring that up there. So this is the one. You can see here when this turns on, this will turn off, which will allow the potions to drain out from the bottom and also stop the water bottles from filling in. On this side here, we are going to go out 1, 2, 3 hoppers and box this one in. That's where the water is going to go for the auto water filler. And don't box that side in. That side gets a dispenser. Like that. So you can imagine bottles go in there, this fires, and pushes them through. Under here, that's the comparator that tells when we run out of water bottles. So there'll be a bunch stacked up in these hoppers. Once it pulls a few through, this will have a hole in it, and this will start firing. It's a super simple circuit here. Invert that, and that guy, I think that's subtraction mode. Bring the dust around here, 4 ticks for the cycle. So there it's saying that it doesn't have any water bottles, so the clock is running. And then this hops up 1 and just goes there. With this full of water bottles, the dispenser down here full enough of water bottles. The water bottles, rather than getting picked up in the dispenser, get chucked into the hopper. And this should be filling up. Yeah, this fills up. And it fills up the brewing stand with them. And that doesn't take them because it's stopped here. I think I just covered this over so nothing falls in. This here gets blaze powder. As much as you can afford. And that's the brewing half. All that's left is we have to link up the activation circuit, which will have a tower here, bring it back around, and plug it in here. So back down at the bottom here, this one is the cycle circuit. So when a potion comes down here, it will get picked up by one of these hoppers and briefly trigger this, which will tell the brewer to start brewing the next one. That signal gets brought up here. 4 to 4 tick delay, 3 tick delay, and then a redstone, and that's going to link up with the signal from this yellow line here. Gets inverted once like that, up, and then we're going to bring it around into the same block here, and there's going to be a NOR gate. You can do this however you like. I here will probably just staircase this up. I think there's room. Yep, there's room. NOR gate. And then on top of this, we have to bring the signal up top to there. We want it at the same level as that. I'm going to use another of these glass towers to do that. Just bring it to here, just so we don't interfere with that. This is going to get a pulse limiter, so that just takes a long pulse and turns it into a short pulse. We only want this circuit to activate very briefly. I actually wanted that block. Like so. So you get a torch on the side. A 4 tick repeater here to get the right length of pulse we want. And that's actually like that. And I think, yeah, it's kind of arbitrary when this color changes. But that will get a repeater there. Turn all these on. So right now this is disabling it. And when it starts, this will flash off and that'll start the brewing cycle. But right now it's not brewing. You just need to run that hopper line down to here. In vertical stacks, I like to alternate them with barrels. Just saves a little iron. Around the back here, you're also going to want to add in this line, which actually wraps around to here and completes that circuit. Repeater there, dust there, and brewing starts. So if you watch, the nether wart goes through first, and then the carrot. And then when the carrot goes through, once the redstone enters, that clock over there is going to activate. And when the redstone brews in, that clock will deactivate and pull the potions out and refill it with water bottles. So it took the 3 potions, it put water in, it made 3 more water bottles, and is brewing the next round. Down the bottom, night vision potions. So what happens, they get pulled through, they go down, this one lets them through, they come through here, this detects them passing through, passes the signal along, and pulses this. This line stays turned off like that until all of these are full. And if we leave it, it just keeps brewing. When we watch this part down here. So the brew should be just about done. In a second, we'll see the potions come through and they'll activate that comparator on the left, which will start the cycle again. So that's about it, guys. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. I appreciate anyone who can take the time to leave me a like, maybe subscribe. Let me know down in the comments if you see any improvements I can make to this, or if you build one in your own world. I'd love to hear about it. Yeah, have a good day, guys.